Good day, everybody. So the word entrepreneurship gets thrown around really loosely, and it can mean a lot of different things for sure. I mean, being an entrepreneur can be anybody from the fitness trainer all the way to Elon Musk. But it's important to remember that every business has a different degree of difficulty, and anything's possible, truly. When you see guys like Elon Musk executing those type of business models, obviously with their team, with his team, he's not doing it himself. He's got a great team that he's put together around a vision of rockets and cars. That's obviously as hard as it gets business-wise. So whatever idea you have, especially in America, I'm originally from Europe, so it's a little different over there, but truly in America, whatever your idea is, whatever you like to do, you can build a business around it. And that's really the point of entrepreneurship, is that I tell people it's not about the money. For sure, you need to make money to feed yourself, but don't go in it with that in mind. It's really a way for you to make a living and possibly some money at what you enjoy to do. And if you start with that first, then not only do you have a chance of making it, but you have a chance of actually making money. Because I've been there. Trust me, a lifelong entrepreneur. That's all I've done. Never had a salary job. At this point, I've either started, owned, or invested in every vertical. And sometimes I started and invested in things that I probably was less passionate about, and it showed because the results were not as impressive. Where the results were really interesting and rewarding were when I worked on things that I really enjoy, which is currently my company, iUnit Communities, which I've created another channel called Modular Building that you can check out as there. But that's been my passion, is really building sustainable modular factory built housing. And I don't want to cover that specifically on this channel. You can go to the other channel. I mean, I want to talk more in general, but you can see I already started to get passionate about it. I've really enjoyed that business model. Where other things I've done a fitness center. I've owned retail. I've invented a gadget that I'll talk about, and I've done apps. So I've done other things, and I've invested in other things that were interesting for sure. And I want to share that knowledge with you guys. But really, at the core, and the things that I'm really interested in is building affordable housing. So you have to find the same thing for you. What are the things that interest you? There's money and businesses to be created in every vertical. Everything's always evolving. So don't. It's not because you see something in the news that you got to go chase. Kind of we call it chasing the next shiny object. You don't want to do that, right? You want to ask yourself, what am I interested in? And if you're young, or even if you're older, get a job. Try to work. Obviously, it's the opposite of what I've done. I've experimented. Every time I was interested in starting something, I just went and started. That's how I learned about it. But if you're not in that position, and you're interested, you think you're interested in something, your gut feeling tells you you're interested in that segment, go ahead and go try it. Because I guarantee you will find an opportunity there. That's what entrepreneurs do, right? We find an opportunity that's missing, that the market really needs, and we put all our resources and effort to make that happen. And it truly is all your resources and all your effort. And that's the other thing that's really important that you got to keep in mind. That there's 4 things for a business to be successful. There's idea, execution, luck, and timing. And everybody gets stuck on just the idea. And the idea is important, but the timing, the luck, and the execution is also very difficult for people. And people have a great idea, and they just sit on the sideline and never try it. That's also part of the channel. Is I want to help you guys execute on that idea and test it. If you guys ever heard of MVP, minimal viable product, you can go on the internet, you can YouTube. A lot of people talk about it, but I'll talk to you guys about focusing on that, testing your idea. So really, the point of the channel, and what I'm doing is here and finally doing is, after 25 years plus, my whole life of being a lifelong entrepreneur, now's really the time that I feel is right for me to share all this knowledge, because I have real street creds, valuable knowledge, not something I read about or did at a job. These are conclusions that I paid through with blood, sweat, and tears, and money, my own money at risk. So that's why I'm comfortable sharing this knowledge and this take with you guys on it. So obviously the title of Warren Buffett not being an entrepreneur obviously is kind of a catchy tag to get you guys to tune in a little bit. But Warren Buffett, the story, and people forget about, is that Berkshire Hathaway is a company that he bought that used to make furniture. When he bought that company, he bought it to try to turn around, to try to run a furniture company. That's what Berkshire Hathaway was. And unfortunately was not successful at that. So here was an quote-unquote entrepreneur who bought a business and was not successful doing it, which is fine, right? But he then figured out that his skills and what he really enjoyed was to invest in other businesses, which I'm not saying that's not difficult, but compared to building a rocket ship, the execution levels are two different things. I mean, let's not forget Warren Buffett is an investor, right? Investor entrepreneur. He's investing in existing businesses. He's buying existing cash flow. He's not creating anything from scratch. And again, nothing wrong with that. If that's something you guys want to do, then go ahead and do that. For me, I love to create, I love to build things, and so that could really never scratch my itch. But whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you there's a business around it. And you can buy an existing business. That's also a great way to be an entrepreneur. There's nothing wrong with that. And the fitness gym that I'll talk about that I invested in years ago is actually a franchise model that I bought into and had success with. It's just the entrepreneur in me really wanted to create, and I think just being the franchisee was not enough for me, although it was a great business. And I learned a lot of lessons and made a little bit of money. But again, because it wasn't my true passion, a true thing, I didn't go 120% into. But obviously, huge lessons learned there that I'll share with you guys, and I'm happy to talk about. So if you're really, this channel is for anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur. I tell people from young folks all the way to the older people who might be in a corporate job and they want to try their hand at entrepreneurship. This is the place that you can come and learn and at least do it part-time, learning through here before you make the jump. Because I just want to make sure that when you guys do make the jump, that you're making it into something that you're really interested in, because that's what it's going to take to make it. I can't stress that enough. If you just jump into it because that's where the money is, or that's the next thing, or AI, or whatever the latest thing is, it's just not going to work. I guarantee you. And if it does work, you'll be miserable. And again, that's why the point of entrepreneurship is that the thing that you want to do, you couldn't do anywhere else, right? I always use the example of Steve Jobs and Wozniak. Those guys actually pitched the idea for Apple to HP and the other company I think Wozniak was working for, I forget the name. And those companies thought they were crazy. Who's going to want a personal computer at home? So it's because of that they started the company, and not the other way around. So it should be the same for you. Every great entrepreneur out there, Elon Musk, Jobs, I mean, we can keep naming them. Those guys and gals are really passionate about what they're doing. It's what makes them work the crazy hours and take the risk and not have salary for a long time. And entrepreneurship is the real thing. The vehicle is definitely there, and this is the country to do it. America is a great country to be an entrepreneur. And there's all the other countries out there. I mean, I realize that with YouTube, it's a global audience, so there's other countries out there that are also great for entrepreneurship. I'm from Europe originally, so it's a little more difficult to be an entrepreneur. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's a little more difficult. So, ask questions. Obviously, everybody, you guys know what to do. Subscribe, like, all that. I'm not gonna obviously force you guys to do that. The point here is for me to share what I've learned with the world. I've been a father here recently, and that's what also pushed me to want to share the knowledge for them, for my own kids and the future generations, and also somebody out there. I always think of myself, Bryce, at 18 years old. What could I teach him about being an entrepreneur and all the lessons I've learned? So this is the point of this channel. And it really helps with you guys asking questions, because there's so many rabbit holes we could go down, and I'm going to try to go down as many of them as I can, but it would really help. And, I'm not going to do any fancy. You can see it's just me and a camera This is my actual office, you know, my home office that I work out a couple of times a week. And so there's nothing staged, nothing fancy, just me and a camera. I want to share some what I think valuable knowledge. These are all things that I paid to learn. And so I wanted to share with you guys. So I look forward to it, look forward to the conversation, and appreciate you joining in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.